Today, chicken, chorizo and lentil stew, plus how to cook with chorizo. We start with the chicken. Hot pan with a thin layer of high smoke point neutral oil. Chicken goes into sear. Thighs for the long cooking time. Skin on for texture and fat. Bone in for collagen. You can use drums, wings, or a combination. Through heat, we want to rapidly evaporate the surface moisture. Then, we get past boiling point and start developing complex, meaty, roasted flavors via the Maillard reaction. I was wrong for a very long time about caramelization. Most meats do not meaningfully caramelize because they lack the free sugar, but we're still getting the nutty roasted notes. Once you're happy, chicken comes out to an oven-ready tray. We let the pan cool down slightly while we talk about chorizo. Spanish dry cured chorizo, which is what we're using today, is a finished product, ready to eat by definition. And when we cook with something that's ready to eat and has gone through 300 years of refinement, it's nice to ask why. So what's inside? Salted, air-dried, pork shoulder and belly. Practically chunky and tasty Spanish ham. There's no need to cook it. So what else is inside? Garlic that has become deeply savory and sweet, and paprika. Sweet, smoked, or spicy. It's warm, fruity, earthy, savory. But most importantly, these flavors are fat-soluble. We're cooking it to render the pork fat so it can bring those flavors to the whole dish. On that note, we skim and reserve the excess chicken fat. Very small dash of water just to make sure we're close to boiling point. Low heat, chorizo in, casing removed. Anyone who's made goulash would tell you paprika is extremely heat sensitive. The moment you go above 120 degrees Celsius, we start to lose aroma. So stay with the gentle heat. Thanks to the paprika, you can see in real time how much you've extracted. So once you're happy, chorizo out. Do not overcook the flesh. We once again skim and reserve a bit of this beautiful fat. Building on this aromatic base, onions in to form our savory base and impart some subtle sweetness. We've not salted anything yet, as the chorizo can be salty, so we taste and adjust later. Gentle heat to evaporate the water content, concentrating the sweetness. Once there's not much steam coming out, a fresh round of garlic to reinforce what the chorizo has already given us. Optional umami boost, salted anchovy, fillet or paste. This will bring salt and a ton of umami. The marine funk is extremely heat sensitive, so this will not taste fishy at all after long cooking. Fish sauce is also a really good option. Optional bay leaf goes in now to bloom this beautiful fat, imparting its eucalyptus, mint-like notes. Now stove off. Fresh round of sweet paprika to refresh and work with our chorizo. Once again, off the heat to not scare the aromas away. Now rinse the lentils in to coat in this yummy fat, modulating starch release when we do introduce moisture. For this recipe and cooking time, green and brown lentils, they both work well. They hold their shape, stay creamy, with just enough starch to thicken without turning into a paste. For me, when the star of the show is the fat, which I think is the case today, I like to use lentils. It is the closest thing to a roux without making a roux. It disperses the fat beautifully and evenly, thanks to the starch. Just like a roux, we need a bit of brightness, dry white wine. We bring this back to a boil to evaporate the alcohol. If you don't want wine, add a small dash of vinegar. Slightly more than enough water to cover. Now, you can pop the chicken back in and cook them together. But if you want crispy skin, chicken wants dry heat, lentils need steam. So lid on, both into a 160 oven, 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, they're ready to meet again. But before that, 2 optional steps. Fresh round of garlic and a small touch of paprika into our reserved fat to bring us freshness and a bit of garlicky pungency to reduce the density of our lentil stew so it remains rich without being heavy. I like to add a bit of tinned white beans, rinsed. Now, everything in. We save half of our chorizo for garnish. Touch more water if need be. Chicken sits on top without being submerged. It's up to you how much rendered chicken fat you want to add. Back to the oven, another 15 to 20 minutes. Whew. Look at that. Round 2 chorizo, just to warm through. Look at that. We have crispy skin, juicy chicken, creamy lentil, and a very fragrant dish.